I'm recording this on a very, very wet day, terrible storm, and it's really to amuse myself rather than anything else. It's the 10th aspect of my very favourite work, which I'd love to see. It's an animated film, The Battle of the Brazilian Ants. Basically, these ants have come to Ireland because they're wood-eating ants, and the trees have been cut down in Brazil, and they threaten to eat all the wooden furniture in a farmhouse where some human twins, Brian and May, were staying for the summer. Among the animals, creatures, what you ever say, the twins can talk to things, and among the friends they make are some ants, County Wicklow ants. Their favourites, excuse me, are the Uluni ants. So put on my glasses and here we go. The Uluni, yes, the Brazilian ants are trying to capture the Uluni ants. The Uluni ants thought they were well prepared for an attack by the Brazilian ants. The Queen appointed Larry commander of the army, and the first thing he did was strengthen the entrance to the nest. It was standing up to the pounding of the Brazilian ants, but then Larry heard the mighty Chico tell his army that more Brazilian ants were on their way and they would break into the nest as soon as they arrived. This news sent the Uluni scurrying all over the place in alarm. "We're going to be captured, we must escape," one cried. "There are too many outside our nest," cried another. "How will we get past them?" "We'll be taken as slaves like the McIntyres," they all cried. "It's all right," Larry said. "Calm down. We're not going out through the entrance." "How?" asked the Queen. "It's the only way out. I've spoken to the worms before the attack, and they agreed to help us build an escape tunnel if the Brazilian ants manage to get in. They'll come in the front of our nest while we'll escape out of a tunnel in the back." "That's a clever idea," the Queen said. "But will the worms keep their promise?" The worms did keep their promise. Wriggling through the earth, they started worming their way to make a tunnel, helped by the Ulunis, who made little carts from straw with round pebbles for wheels to carry the earth, which they took back and emptied against the entrance of the nest to make it harder for the Brazilians to get in. The pounding on the entrance grew louder and louder, but they all worked hard, and soon the tunnel stretched well away from the entrance to the nest. Then disaster struck. Larry and some other loony ants were loading a cart with earth when they heard a loud rumbling sound. At first they didn't know what it was until pieces of the tunnel began to drop down. They stood in horror as another piece of earth fell down with a great roar. Suddenly they were plunged into darkness. "What are we going to do?" cried one of Larry's companions. "The others are too far ahead to realize what has happened, and we're cut off from those behind." "We'll never be able to dig ourselves out without the help of the worms," cried another. "We'll be stuck here forever. Stuck here until the Brazilians dig through and take us off as slaves." With that, the Ulunis frantically stumbled about in the darkness, bumping into each other and wailing. "Stop," Larry said sharply. "Panicking will get us nowhere. We'll have to find something to dig ourselves out of this mess." "What with? It's too dark," they moaned. "We can't see a thing." "Even if we find something, which way will we dig? Backwards or forwards?" "Upwards," suggested an ant whose nickname was Cowardly Charlie. "And what about our friends behind?" snapped Larry. "Are you going to allow them to be captured?" "No," Charlie replied weakly. But what?" "We could dig upwards, run to the farmhouse and ask the twins to help," said Cowardly Charlie, who everyone knew was thinking only of himself. "We'll take the wheels off the car, use them as picks, and dig our way forward," Larry said sternly. "We'll tell those in front what has happened and come back for the others. And don't you try anything smart, Charlie. I'm keeping an eye on you." As they inched their way slowly forward, Larry heard the cries of those behind grow fainter, while those of the Brazilian ants grew louder. More Brazilian ants must have arrived, he thought. "We're lost," said Cowardly Charlie, who had also heard the cry of the Brazilian ants. "There are too many. They'll soon dig their way to us." "Stop," Sorry. Stop panicking, shouted Larry. Dig harder, all of you. What's that noise? Are the Brazilian ants in front of us too? Cowardly Charlie was taking a fright. I told you we should dig upwards. Suddenly they saw a chink of light ahead. It's the worms, Larry cried as wriggling heads appeared through the gap of light. They must have guessed what has happened and come back to help. With the help of the worms, they tunneled back furiously, reached those behind, just as the Brazilian ants were about to break down the entrance to the nest. Then they rushed forward through the tunnel, met up with the ants who had been in front, and quickly emerged into the sunlight and safety. I hope I read this all right, because, as I say, it's a bloody depressing day. Okay, take care. Bye.